Okay, thank you very much. I'm now joined by Mr. Harun from Kisii, all the way from Kisii now to Kilimanjaro. Kilimambogo, I beg your pardon, to Kilimambogo. Maybe, sir, just start by telling me your name and why are you here in Kilimambogo and not Kisii or Nairobi, where I know you come from.
Yeah, my name is Harun Ndubi.
Yes, yes.
I don't come from Kisii. I come from Nyamira.
No, from Nyamira. Oh, you mean there is difference between Kisii and Nyamira?
Yeah, Kisii is one county, Nyamira is another county.
Oh.
But we are of the same ethnicity, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
I practice law in Nairobi.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I am here today is to just take out the occasion of Eid al-Fitr to celebrate one of our key heroes, freedom heroes of this country, Mzee Kahengeri, whom I have had the pleasurable occasion to work with previously. And I thought that we shouldn't lose the wisdom of our leaders of the past, especially those leaders who believed in certain values. Today, in this country, we have people who are dealers rather than leaders. So it is a good thing that we have occasion to share and listen to the wisdom of the people who led this country, who fought for this country, who fought for our freedom. They believed in something about what we are. They believed in our freedom, not our commoditization, because the dealers, if you call them rulers or ruiners, or they believe that we are commodities. That's why you hear people who hold high officers in government talk about exporting our labor instead of the labor being applied in this country for the best interest and benefit of the people of Kenya. So I have had a tremendous joy listening to Mzee Kahengeri and other friends like Professor Ogola Fred, George Kegoro and others. It has been an eye-opening occasion, and I would like that our young people, especially those who are in civil society, in colleges and schools, our doctors who are on strike and others, to listen to him. And more important, perhaps other than those of us who know what we like, I would encourage people in government to listen to the elders of the pre-independence struggle. Whether it is Sigitu Kahengeri, Burudi Nabwera, and others, those who are lucky to be alive today. I think it is important for these people in government to listen to them, not to listen to themselves. They talk to themselves. Lately, if you watch TV, you get depressed. You know, cabinet secretaries, members of parliament, everybody is talking, pointing fingers. As if they are angry. Why are they angry? They should be empathetic to Kenyans. And that is the empathy that I saw and I have heard from Gitu Kahengeri and Fred Ogola and others. And I'm therefore very pleased that I have spent Eid al-Fitr of this year, 2024, fairly usefully.
As a legal mind, I have this question to ask you because I believe for sure that right now we are seeing a lot of bad manners of our politicians, especially in parliament, how they do their things. And before people are chosen, I guess there is a proper way and intelligent way of making sure that we get the right people. What is wrong with the terms and the procedures of doing the search for these good leaders?
You've seen Mzee has gifted me a book called The Betrayal of Mau Mau Freedom Fighters. Today we have the betrayal of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, where we struggled so much and thought that we had gotten somewhere by writing down in the Constitution the principles of governance and the rules of governance. What happened is after we enacted the Constitution, the people who did not like it, unfortunately, became the ones who were elected to implement and enforce it.
The things they never liked it from the word go.
They didn't want it in the first place.
Yes,
and Kenyans, for some very strange reason, and maybe this is why I would want to quote the expression by Michael Joseph, that Kenyans have peculiar habits.
Yes,
they said they were peculiar calling habits. Now, we have elected dealers, or leaders if you may, but they are dealers,
I like the word.
who, because they have dealt in money and have a lot of money, they have helped impoverish the majority. And the majority, who are the voters, so poor that they are bribed to elect those dealers. And the dealers must work to recoup their investments, which is the money they bribed the voters with. And that is unfortunately the situation we're in, that you find. Maybe I should ask this question in retrospect. How does one human being who is not a manufacturer say he made 2 billion shillings in 1 year?
Not making sense.
The good thing, he used the word make. Making is not earning. Two, he made 2 billion in a year. He's my friend. He was my roommate one time in college.
I like that.
Two, I want to point out that is a fellow who is purporting to have been making 50 million shillings every month. Who earns 50 million shillings every month?
It's not sensible.
So, and that is the only one who came out because he's looking for a job that would earn him possibly 200,000 shillings. Why would you want to look for 200,000 shillings in a government office when you can make 2 billion in 1 year? So there is, that should tell you that we have a crooked country, we have a crooked leadership, we have a crooked organization. The government of Kenya is possibly something I could call a criminal enterprise in the whole of it. When you hear a minister or cabinet secretary justifying the fake fertilizer story to say, oh, it wasn't fertilizer, actually it was a soil conditioning thing. When did you ever hear about soil conditioning thing being sold to citizens? People know what, and then they are suggesting that they want to make certain crops or the growing of indigenous crops to be illegal, so that we have to buy certain seeds from somewhere. So this is a regime that one would equate with Mobutu Sese Seko's Zaire. The Kenyan regime is nearly equivalent to Mobutu Sese Seko's Zaire, because what Mobutu did was to impoverish the people so much to the extent that they required, rather they thought it was their savior.
Now, Mr. Legal Mind, let me just use that word, Mr. Legal Mind. Okay, now that is now the problem. Now, what is the solution? Where is the starting point? How do you do? Because we are now vulnerable as Kenyans. What's now the starting point in your view?
I think there is never a starting point, because it is a continuing journey of educating ourselves, learning, having to know where our problem really lies. I think people need to realize that our problem is not just the leadership of government, but also ourselves in terms of being politically educated. Many of us in civil society keep talking about civic education, but I don't think it is any more important. We need to have political education where people will learn what is in their best interest, who is serving their best interest, not saying it, we want to know how to file cases in court.
Somebody suggested that we should bring some lessons talking about values right in school, so that we inspire our people to start thinking of others, not just being individualistic. In
Japan, you may wish to learn or to know that children up to the age of 7 or 8 years, those who go, whether they call it pre-primary like we do here or whatever it is, they are first taught manners. They are taught how to relate, how to respect elders, how to keep their environment clean. That's why in China you don't find people throwing, like these bottles. If I finish this water and you throw it out there, they know where to do. They should. That is how we need to teach political education. Much the same conversation we are having about sexual education in schools, we should have political education in schools. We should have leadership education in schools. The Constitution should be taught in schools. People should know what are the values. What I know, there are a lot of young children, possibly even in college, who do not know the structure of our Constitution. They don't know if you say chapter 4, they don't know what is in chapter 4. When you say chapter 6, it's only politicians who talk about chapter 6, especially when they are looking for officers and when they are going to the EACC to get some clearance certificates. And beyond just teaching this in schools, I think the government needs to learn. It needs to be educated. Can you imagine the EACC in the last election of 2022 rather,
Yes.
EACC provided a list of people who were contending for election, but they thought either they are under investigation or they have been convicted, and the EACC said, don't clear these people, but IEBC cleared them, and they ran. Can you imagine a convict, a fellow who had been sentenced to 60 years in jail, filed a notice of appeal, and got bail pending appeal, and is a member of parliament? You can imagine a fellow who shot and killed a supporter of his opponent, was elected and is in parliament today.
Bad manners.
It's completely deplorable manners, not just bad.
Thank you very much. That is now the parting point. That is now the parting point here in Kilimambogo, Thika East Sub-County, Kiambu County, here in Juja. In fact, here in Kiambu, where we visited Mzee, the veteran, former MP of Juja, Mzee, who has really impacted a lot of lives. In fact, also here at his home, in fact, we realized that he's doing a lot of things, including he had good plans and even started a school at his residence here. We saw that only that because of age is catching up with him, because he's 100 years and still can speak fluently and inspire people, and also attract visitors from all walks of life, people from Kisi, people from Luo Nyanza, people from different areas, Ukambani, just visiting Mzee here at his home, because he's a man of value, making a difference in lives. In fact, thank you very much. This is Nelson Ochieng of Juakali Times in partnership with DIF Media. Thank you very much, and God bless.